Hey guys, thanks for listening to the Spiritual Grind. We hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to follow, hit the little bell for your notifications when the podcast is posted, and follow, and share with your friends. We hope you enjoy it. Leave a comment if there's any topics that you want us to speak about.
Like, follow, share.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenny. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiritual Grind. We are in studio and here to help you in every way we can. Good morning, Dr. Jenny.
Good morning.
Sorry, we're having a catification issue here. These cats always want to wait until we go recording and before they move around and do stupid things.
I feel like they see the sign that says on air.
Yeah.
And it's like, cue the crazy cat behavior.
It's nuts. But I guess it is what it is.
It is what
Like
it
she just
is.
came over and made the biscuits on your lap and then walked off.
Right. Yeah. It's
For no
like
reason.
They see that we have a little square box and it says on air and it lights up. And James always pushes the button to turn it on so we know we're on air. That way I know to stop bumping the mic and get still and all of that. I feel like they look at that damn thing and they see when it's on.
I think they do. I think they, I don't care what they say. Cats speak English.
I definitely know that they understand time without a watch and they understand what we say.
7 o'clock, they're down there for their candy bars.
Absolutely.
It could be raining, sunny, it doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
Even with the time change, they know when 7 o'clock is.
They do.
It's kind of crazy.
They're jamming me up at 5 minutes till.
They are subconsciously programmed.
Yeah, with the candy bars.
With the candy bars. Crazy. Anyway, good morning. How are you? Are you ready for a topic of the day?
Good afternoon.
It is good afternoon, actually. It's 1 o'clock here in Florida.
I'm ready for the topic.
Okay, because what we just talked about kind of falls into it.
Of course it does.
The subconscious mind and how we program things, with how our subconscious mind gets programmed by our beliefs and how it molds our processes and thought patterns into our conscious world.
Wow.
Pretty deep one.
That
Pretty
sounds
big one.
like a book.
It almost does.
Things that make you go,
So, here's the example I want to talk about.
Okay.
Like for me, I've been having some blood pressure things go on. And many years ago, I had a lung infection. I'll tell them, you know the story, but I'm going to tell them. And I was ended up hospitalized because I had a really bad lung infection. And this was back in 2004, 2005. I don't even remember. 10 years ago. And I left there from I was removing VCT tile with a chipper without wearing a face mask. Ended up with a really bad.
I thought it was black mold.
No, it wasn't black mold. It was, they don't know. They don't know at the time. Black mold tests weren't available for the lungs. So I don't know now. But anyway, so I ended up in the hospital for 42 days or something. It was insane. And I ended up leaving there with a rescue inhaler and a nebulizer, and was told that I had lost some of my lung function in my left lung. And yada, 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 whoop-de-woo. And now we've been going through here recently. We've been, about 3 years ago, we started going through some exposure stuff again, and I was having some health issues, and I started relying on my nebulizer, or on my rescue inhaler.
Yeah.
I was literally taking it 2-3 times a day for a minute. And, subconsciously, I thought I was doing the right thing until today.
Ding.
Because
Cue
my
the
blood
light bulb.
comes up, and my bottom numbers staying pretty elevated. You can consider into the textbook. I don't feel bad.
Well, considering your baseline.
Right. Considering I'm only 110/70 guy. The part of it that I was sitting in my chair getting my morning sunbathing done, because I love to sunbathe. And it came in my head because Dr. Jenny and I have been talking about this all morning about herbal stuff and how I feel like it's not affecting not helping anything, blah, blah, blah. And when I had the initial exposure, I wasn't using my inhaler. And so the herbal things were working. But I was sitting in my chair and I was like, what the heck is going on? And then that little voice in my head says, hey, dumbass, you're using your rescue inhaler too much. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. So what do? I Google Doc it. And I'll be damned if it doesn't say that overuse of an albuterol rescue inhaler will raise your diastolic blood pressure number, which is what's raised on mine. I would say what's elevated on mine. And if it's elevated quite a bit, it will actually raise your top number, which is the diastolic is the bottom number. And I was like, well, son of a biscuit eater. And so I'm sitting there.
Well, first you had asked me the question.
Yeah, I turned to you and was like, is this true? Because,
no, you'd asked me prior to that. And I was like, of course it can. We've had this conversation.
And so I used ChatGPT and I GTF that stuff. And I'll be dang, it's because I have been overusing it. I've literally been using it every day.
Right. I mean, I kind of think it's become a little bit of a habit.
And I was doing it because when I was being exposed to the mold before, I needed it because it was affecting me, my bronchioles.
Yeah.
But then it became a habit.
Yeah.
Like I got to where I go to bed at night, I lay down in the bed, I hit the inhaler twice before I even go to sleep for no reason.
Right. It's just part of your bedtime ritual for sure.
Right.
And then part of your daytime lifestyle.
Right.
Like you don't go anywhere without that in your pocket. And
right.
I'm like,
And for years.
It doesn't sound wheezy.
For many years, I never even carried that thing with me.
Oh, I know.
Like
never even used it.
Yeah. I don't remember. There was a point from like 2008 until probably it may have been longer than that. 2019 maybe before what's her face when I had that really bad bronchial infection.
It was probably 2017 when you got that winter cold that was a really bad infection, and we had to put you back on your nebulizer and your rescue inhaler.
That was in Arkansas. But
yeah.
Anyway, so I had
that's a long time.
And so I went back and checked in, and I remember when I was in the hospital and when they were doing respiratory therapy on me, trying to get my lungs function back, she's told me that when you feel like you can't get enough air or whatever, to use that. And so that subconsciously went into my mind because that was a scary situation. So I had a fear that created the subconscious belief. Mm-hmm. And so here I am into this new exposure thing now, fast forward to this time, but I wasn't feeling restricted. But because it was breathing, it was a subconscious programming.
Right. So in your mind, maybe you sort of like said, I don't ever want to feel that way again because it was scary.
That's right.
Let me head it off at the pass. I'll take this rescue inhaler so I never have to feel that way again.
That's exactly how I was thinking. Exactly. Was, hey, I'll remove this. I'll do this and get rid of this phlegm so it don't go into my lungs out of fear that I had compartmentalized.
Yeah.
And so when I compartmentalize it and I bring it forward, now out of that compartmentalized fear, I was doing this habit and I created this habit, which is a very not good habit. So if you all have a rescue inhaler, don't do that.
Well, you follow the advice of your practitioner, not Dr. James.
Right, I agree. But the part of it that I want to bring to everybody's attention is how we compartmentalize those things and how we can create a conscious habit.
Yeah, that's called programming.
Programming, that's right. And so now here I am. I do this Google Doc this morning, and of course when I have the smartest person in the world sitting across from me, I still will have this tendency to do Chat GPT and Google that stuff.
Yes.
GTS, man.
That's okay. I give you space to get a second opinion, as I do everybody.
And so and it says, you can raise your blood pressure, but all you have to do is stop it.
Right.
And it could
when
take
is now
right. It could it says it could take up to like 10 days. But I don't necessarily own into that before your body starts rebalancing again.
Right.
Because it literally the rescue inhaler puts your body into that fight or flight, which makes it drop cortisol.
So then my question to you would be, for the folks listening, when you're going to stop a habitual behavior,
Right.
how do you do that?
Well, I'm going to tell you, I've never had the problem with stopping something I want to stop. You have to release the compartment. You have to bring everything out of the closet and say, you know what? You're an idiot. I'm an idiot. I know what caused this action. And I just opened the closet door and let the demons out and be like, okay, so what happened? Why did I do this? And it was a fear. I was scared. I didn't want that again. That was a very scary moment in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally thought I was going to die.
Right.
And they did too at one point.
Right.
Because they put me in ICU as soon as I checked in because my blood oxygen was like way low. I don't remember what it was.
Oh my God, not ICU.
I know, right?
That's where people go to die, is in ICU.
I know, right? That's exactly what I thought. And it was crazy.
Let me share something.
Mm-hmm.
If med-surg is full,
They'll put you in ICU.
then they don't have any beds in med-surg, you get to go to ICU.
Oh, I'm so excited. Oh,
And so sometimes ICU is just an overflow, and you get to go in the little corner over on the right-hand side in the overflow part of that because med-surg is full. It doesn't mean you're dying. It doesn't mean you're going to end up on some machine. It just means that you have common stomach flu, and there's just no beds on med-surg.
Okay, well, anyway.
But not to take away from your event.
Well, you're kind of downplaying it. I'm trying to show people the importance of this.
Downplaying it just because I wanted to put a little levity in it. You're right.
Well, in my bubble, it was a very serious time. And because it's scary when they're shoving tubes down your throat and they're...
Absolutely.
And, there's like 4 people in the room constantly and watching my stats and everything. And it puts you in a scary spot. And so, but I compartmentalize that. And because I blocked it.
What do you mean when you say compartmentalize? What do you're using that word a lot. And so for the listeners, what does that mean exactly?
Well, you compartmentalize something, it means your subconscious mind blocks it from your conscious thought because it was a traumatic situation or other situations.
I see. So what you mean by that is you kind of put it in a box
and you hide it
and kind of hid it away.
Right.
I see. Okay.
And so when I was sitting out there this morning after you and I had that conversation, and that voice in my head is saying this, and then I Google it. It made me rip open the door and be like, "Oh my God, you're an idiot!" Because I don't want to. I mean, I don't even feel bad, but my blood pressure is up.
Yeah.
And so why is that? And ChatGPT and them gave me all the freaking explanation because, yeah, you're right. You don't feel bad because what you're doing is putting your hormonal system into a system that creates a good feeling.
Yeah, you're kind of putting it in overdrive.
Right, putting it in constant overdrive where it's constantly doing something.
Okay. So back to the question of what physical actions does one take when they want to reprogram a habit that's gone into place?
Well, you have to bring the things out of the closet. That's where I started that.
Awareness.
Awareness. Yes, okay. I had to bring everything in the closet. I had to put it on the table and say, you know what? You're an idiot, basically. And I don't mean you have to call yourself an idiot. What I mean is you have to recognize your part of what you did wrong and own it.
And want to change.
And yeah, totally. I mean, it wasn't the fact that I wanted to change what I was doing. It's the fact that I wanted to feel better, which encouraged me to change what I was doing.
Right. But you still, no matter what the topic is, wanting it to be different.
Right.
And then bringing things out into the awareness so they can't hide in the crevices of the subconscious mind.
Right. They will, yes.
Would be probably the first primary and secondary steps.
I would agree. And so, because what happens if you don't? If you have something that comes up, like I could have ignored that statement. And so I went into my closet, I opened the door, and then I bring it to my reality out of a want to be better. Mm-hmm. I want to do something different because this obviously is not working. And
by bringing it out of your closet, what you mean is that you went back to that moment in time where the fear started. Correct. And relived that situation and did kind of a comparison of what's going on now.
Redefine things. Yep.
Updated definitions.
Right.
And got clear about, okay, that event happened and I'm ready
I
to
lived through it. I'm
redefine
strong
it.
enough to live through it.
Right. But
Yep.
what habits am I currently hanging on to because of that to prevent it from ever happening again?
Right.
Kind of thought process.
Right. Because here's what the human body does when they compartmentalize those kind of things is they actually end up creating more compartments. You will start.
Tell me more.
So like me, I was in the process of creating another compartment of, oh my God, I've got high blood pressure. I'm going to be on high blood pressure medicine the rest of my life. And so I was creating another fear that I was going to compartmentalize.
A whole nother little box.
Right. So you're lying. Your subconscious mind is lying to yourself. And so you continuously create these lies.
Right.
Until you get so stinking caught up in all of it that you can't keep your compartments full, or you can't keep them hid back anymore.
Straight.
Right. And so it just causes more confusion.
Very entangled.
It can become very, very entangled. When I come to the point this morning of like, I almost felt an emotional response to it. Like, why would you do this to yourself? Like, oh my gosh, you're why? And so that's the big question for people when they open their compartment. Why did I do this? Okay.
Well, I mean, we can definitely break that down.
Right. And that's what I think we need to do. And that's what an understanding that a fear, a traumatic experience and those kind of things, that if you can't completely remember the details of it, and here's a clue, because when I first opened that door, I'm like, I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Opened what door?
When I opened that door to that compartment of the fear from when I was in the hospital.
Okay.
To look at those memories. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm going to look through it just to prove I'm not doing nothing wrong.
I gotcha. Okay.
And it created a little bit of an emotional response of, you're an idiot, that kind of things.
An idiot to you?
Yes, to myself.
Or these people are giving me this information or not
the subconscious, that little voice in my head, I was responding to it humanly. It's like, you're an idiot. I'm not doing nothing wrong. Until I ran through it. And that's what we do to ourselves. Mm-hmm. We will tell ourselves lies to make ourselves feel better, and we'll block out the reality. And here's one way to tell that you have something compartmentalized. If you can think back on a memory like I just did a minute ago and say to myself, I didn't do nothing wrong, you're probably hiding something. There's something there that's not coming out. Because there's not an instance in this life, in time, anywhere, that any human can stop and say, I have done nothing wrong in this scenario.
Yeah, the right or wrong thing sometimes is not helpful.
Right.
It's self-criticizing, which sometimes is not helpful, but we'll go with it.
Okay.
It gives you an opportunity to come to that place of right being the feel better place.
Right.
And looking at that situation.
I guess the point I was trying to get to is you have to be humble enough to say, this wouldn't have came to my mind if I wasn't doing something right in it, or if I wasn't doing something wrong in it. And so it wouldn't have came there. That was my subconscious higher self saying, hey, look at this.
I understand.
And being humble enough to say what's right and what's wrong. Not saying that there's a difference between right and wrong, but what I'm saying is we as humans have a tendency to log things that way.
We do. But you got to be careful not to get tangled up in the right and the wrong of everything and self-criticize yourself down into a place of unworthiness or low confidence or low self-esteem, right?
That's a good point, because that's not something I think about. So.
Right. Because if you're already a person that does this self-judgment, self-criticization place where you don't have a very good self-worth, then you're already identifying every shit and ass thing as, okay, I'm a bad person. I did that wrong. I did this wrong. I did that wrong.
Yeah.
And so I tend to not like to keep feeding into that factor of right and wrong.
Understood. Yeah, that's really, because that, and thank you for sharing that, because that's not something that I do, because I have an ego, and I'm pretty, you're confident. I am a very confident person.
But you've also been doing your process for years, which built that confidence up.
100%.
And for newbies, or for people who are not there yet, the right and wrong mentality can get them tangled up.
Yes, I agree, and I'm glad. Thank you for putting that in there because that's not something I think about.
Right.
I just know that whatever I want to do, I can do.
And so instead of saying right or wrong, it might be more beneficial for those to say, this is not working anymore, or this is not working right now. I got to look at it again or look at it initially to see what's going to work now.
Right.
Where am I at now? I want change. So what do I have to look at to bring about change?
Right. Because there's some people like me, I'm an investigative guy. You and I had this conversation this morning. Because there are some people that are not investigative.
That's right.
And for me thinking about the right or wrong, it's not about that really, because I don't focus on it much.
Right.
What I do focus on is why.
The why.
Yeah, and you're right. There are people out there that if they have a problem with self-worth, that the right or wrong shouldn't come up.
Right. It can just tangle them up. So we got to give people multiple ways of looking at it.
I agree.
And so, for those that are still working on their self-worth and scolding themselves for, oh my God, I did it wrong. You have to remember that anything and everything that you experience along your path was experienced because it was for your benefit of learning and expansion.
Yes.
Not because it was the wrong choice. Even if it was a hard choice, it still served a purpose that was beneficial.
Totally agree.
And so that's why I tend not to lean into the right or wrong. However, we digress, and let's get back on topic.
And so I go through this morning, and I come to the realization of, okay, so that was obviously not working.
Right.
And so now what did work in the past should work again. And I came to that, I guess, calm place of, okay, I can fix this now.
Yeah.
And
which normally happens no matter what the topic is.
Yeah, I agree.
Once you get to the core of the whole investigative process, whatever that looks like, you can then align with the frequency of the solution.
Correct. And that's exactly what happened this morning.
Yeah.
And so through the research of a lot of the things, because I'm a why guy, I like the whys.
Right.
I've discovered that why I feel like I'm needing these different vitamins and supplements and herbal things is because my body is using them. Yeah. Because of the constant raised height. And being able to stop and look at yourself when you have a fear or a traumatic response to something, it is so big.
It is.
Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I went through the emotional ladder in all of this quite a bit.
Yeah.
And emotions are part of it, even to the part of being mad at myself.
Well, or even just being mad at the concept of having the blood pressure issue. Right.
Yeah. I mean, you and I even talked about the stuff my mom told me when I was younger and how I had this supposed heart issue and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. You got to take your little imaginary shuffle. Yep. And you just got to start pulling away digging at it and pulling away the dirt one little layer at a time, like a archaeologist does when they find that new city, slowly, quickly, whatever your pace is. And that's what we do with the clients.
Totally agree.
You got to dig it up. And sometimes you got to go digging fast and hard. Sometimes you go slow. Sometimes,
So what I did when I dug all this up this morning, and this is a good way, I had this memory of when I got really sick, and I had attached an emotion to it that made my subconscious mind bury it, and that was fear. Yeah. And fear will get buried a lot in people, and what you have to do is bring it up and attach a different emotion to it. Right. So you can see it clearly.
That's right. Like fear has a vibration. Right. And it's a heavy vibration, and it won't align with the solution, and it won't align with the higher self information that's given to you at all times. Right. Because it lowers your frequency.
Like when we work with people sometimes, like especially in a couple situation, on the one where there's always one person that's the blamer and one person that's a receiver. Yeah. And when the person that's the receiver generally will sit back and just get beat up. And from their perspective, and then they'll tag an emotion to it that they're doing something wrong. And so it's the
Or
same
they'll
thing.
tag an emotion to it that's, I'm pissed off. Why are y'all fucking ganging up on me bullshit?
Yes, completely. And so you have to look at it from a different standpoint and bring those things up to yourself. Bring them up to yourself. And then just try this, because this is what I did this morning. Instead of me having the fear of what's going on, I tagged the emotion to the other side of the spectrum of happy that I just figured out what's going on.
Right.
And it's okay. And because that's the key to it. We always talk about this is when it's okay to stay, it's okay to go. You have to have balance.
Yeah.
And when you're hiding things from yourself and not looking at them, and then because of that emotional compartmental, the compartmental space, changing that emotion to it will help you.
Absolutely. Stop and have an internal party.
Yeah.
Every time you accomplish something beneficial, when you get to the root of what is causing all the ruckus, and you finally have that feeling over exaggerated, because what that does is it trains your body,
Right.
it trains your mind to recognize the good things as easily as we recognize the bad things.
Yes.
Because as a species and as a collective, way back in caveman era, we have a fight or flight process and system in place. So we're trained to find those things that are going to harm us or end life.
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, we bring those into our day-to-day activity. And so we are very, I guess, attuned to being able to find the crap that's going to hurt us.
Right.
And the negative stuff that doesn't feel good.
Right.
Those things are very easy to define.
Right.
But a large percentage, and I'll go out on a limb and say that if I did analytical studies, it would probably be in the 85 to 90 percentile of people who are not consciously in an aware state logging the good times,
Right.
the feel good places.
Right.
And so consciously make a big deal out of those achievements and those milestones.
Totally agree.
When you get to the seat of the problem, stop and have a little imaginary party in your head where, I mean, this is what I do.
Yeah.
My cells, my body, my guides, we stop and we kind of like have a little jam and party. Put your hands
understood.
in the air. You
Wave
know?
them like you just don't care.
Right.
I mean,
And that over accentuates the good
right.
so that it gets to have a viable place in your reality, and you become consciously aware of the good things as well.
Right. I totally agree with you. I think another part of this is when we, like for me this morning, when we open doors to things that we don't like, you have to change your mindset a little bit, because your human's going to bring out all the anger, the despair, those things of being mad at yourself or being mad at the world or being mad at other people.
About what?
When you open your compartments.
When you open the box.
Yes, when you open the box and you unleash that fear that's hidden, and you attach a new emotion to it, you'll have a tendency to create another emotion of being mad that it happened in the first place. And
That the box got open.
Yes.
Right. That's because that let me keep you safe part of you thinks it's doing a good job by keeping it in the box. And if you go rip the box open to deal with it, that other aspect of yourself, that little monkey mind aspect of yourself, is doing everything it thinks it needs to do and is supposed to do to keep you safe.
Yes.
And so for a minute, it's going to fight up against you, and it's going to say, okay, dumbass, I had this stuffed away so we didn't have to deal with it. What the hell are you doing opening the damn box? Put it back. If you open this, that means that, oh my God, if you, like, for example, if someone has doubt, if you have doubt about something that you aren't sure if it's going to work or if it's not, for example, and this is a big one, you keep the experience, or you don't go on the journey of having the experience because it may not work. You keep all that boxed up because the monkey mind part of you that's designed to keep you safe and not have to experience bad crap. If you go out and you try it and it actually doesn't work, then you've got to deal with that and experience the yucky pain.
Yep.
Whereas if you don't go out and experience it, and I as your monkey mind say, no, don't go try it. It's scary.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
unknown.
It's a deep dungeon.
Then you never have to know that it did or didn't work.
Right.
You can just pretend like it worked.
Yeah.
And then you never have to know the true answer.
Yes.
Therefore, you never have to feel the feelings of, oh my God, it didn't work, so let me go about this differently or not at all. You just get to always have that proverbial consolation prize, participation bullshit prize.
Yes. I totally agree.
And so that's why you bump up against your monkey mind for a minute and it gets pissed off that you open the box.
Right. Yeah. And so like this morning, it was so mad at I was so mad at myself, I couldn't even remember some of the stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Until I attached a different emotion to it.
Yeah.
Because, that's the job of the subconscious mind.
Right.
And like I was sitting there in my chair, I was enjoying myself. I took a deep breath and I'm like, you know what? It's all okay. You know what? Just forget this. It's okay. I'm not going to be mad at myself. Let's just figure this out.
And you went almost into kind of a meditative place.
I did.
In your own way by going and sitting in your little chair, getting under the sun, just kind of letting everything go, just sitting there,
Basking
focusing on the enjoyment of having the sun because you enjoy that immensely.
I do enjoy the sun.
And that let you actually go into a quiet, meditative place almost.
Yeah, it let me remove the fear out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's where
I bring that up because that could be a technique that one would use if you were looking for new ways or techniques.
Yeah.
When we say go into a quiet space and try to clear your mind, it can look like anything.
Right.
It can be in a patio chair, sitting in the sun in your skivvies, taking
I
in
had
the
shorts
sun.
on.
You had shorts on. I was just making it funny. That could be your type of meditation.
Yes.
Meditation doesn't have to be that you're sitting in folded leg, folded arm position, trying to, do all this. What's out there as a visual meditation.
Right.
It can literally look like anything.
Right.
And for you, totally. Sitting in the sun, focusing on how the sun makes you feel, and changing your focus from being angry to being in that enjoyable state of being, which was tiny.
It's frustrating, man. When you can't.
It is.
It is frustrating.
It is. And I'm going in a particular place. You don't have to do this big hoopla to do.
Right.
Go get the yoga mat, do this whole fucking 30-minute meditation thing. Find the most comfortable, happy place that you can find in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in the moment of all that ruckus going on for you, you just said, well, you know what? I'm going to enjoy the sun.
Right.
I'm just going to change my focus. I'm going to go to a happy spot. And that happy spot was you. I think maybe you were sat there maybe 5-7 minutes. It wasn't even that long.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
But because you changed your focus, you focused in on how good the sun feels, how good it feels to sit in that chair. That's a type of meditative state. And it didn't take very long once you found the frequency of that feel good
I just quieted my mind. That's right. I just quieted my mind.
It was easier to quiet the mind because you found that feel good energy.
Yep.
And then when you quiet the mind and you find that feel good energy, it raises your frequency to be able to align to the answers
Agreed.
And the information coming in. That's what I wanted to express to the listeners.
No, I totally agree.
That is a technique.
A lot of people use sound therapy and those kind of things, but you don't have to.
You don't have
everybody
to.
thinks it has to look this way and this way and this way.
Right.
And I got news for you. Metaphysical activity and holistic activity does not look any one way for everybody.
Right. Everybody has
different.
their own tools, their own modalities. There is no right or wrong way.
Like for me, I like to work with my hands in the sun, and that's a very big place for me to really get deep into thought about things. Mm-hmm. And I've always been that way.
Yeah.
And for you, it's a different place. You like to be in a quiet area where you're warm and comfortable.
It depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it depends on how heavy the frequency is. Sometimes I just want to go sit in my space and hold my selenite ball.
Yeah.
You know? Sometimes I got to go there with it.
Right. Like the conversation we had at the bank yesterday with a guy.
Yeah.
He's wanting to know how to quiet his mind better, and
you got to try different things.
and I just can't get there. Did you hear him say that twice?
Yeah.
Well, you can't get there because you have that thought. You just have to. You can't say I can't. You have to say I can. I can get there.
And you got to be easy about it. And what I mean easy
Relaxed.
about it is try this. If that doesn't work, then try something different.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, don't beat yourself up about it. Just try something different.
Yes. Totally
Like
agree.
with meditation, if the traditional way of meditating is not working for you, then stop trying it. It's not working.
What was his
something
name?
different.
I'm having a brain fart. Jeff, if you listen to this,
You always want to put everybody's name out there, and they may not want their name.
they don't know
out
who.
there.
They don't know where he is. But I didn't say the name of the bank. But Jeff, if you're out there listening, because I know you took our stuff. If you're going to hear this podcast, hey, we appreciate your interaction. I'm going to tell you, it was refreshing to hear you talk about your daughter.
Absolutely.
It was really a good conversation.
Absolutely.
And mad props to you for trying to figure out a way to find those connections with her. It was kind of cool.
That's right.
It was a cool conversation.
Sure.
To move on to the next topic within this is, what do you do when, because my situation is I didn't feel bad. You woke up one morning and said, hey, your blood pressure's high.
Yeah.
What do you do when somebody else brings it to your reality? Because that caused frustration within me.
Explain. The fact that I brought it to your reality caused frustration.
Yes. And so
if I would have just kept it to myself, you would be none the wiser and you wouldn't be having to go through this.
That's what, it's a subconscious thought. Yeah, it's a conscious thought, not a subconscious thought that be like, I wouldn't be dealing with this. I wouldn't even know. But then in reality, I need to know.
Yeah, you do.
But the whole point of it is what happens, what do you do when somebody else brings one of your compartments to the surface like that? Because I thought I was done with that scenario, and it did create a frustration within me. And I mean, which it didn't take me long to clear it, but it still did. It brought it to my surface and it brought it to my awareness. And now I'm like, golly,
Well, by design, that's how this whole mechanism works.
Okay.
We are put here as each other's characters in their play to mirror to them the things that are ready to come up.
Okay.
And it can be by actions, it can be by conversation, it can be by behavior, it can be by anything. And so therefore, that's why I like to teach people, don't take everything literal and at face value. Look at the symbology. Just because this person is acting like a booty head, what are they mirroring back to you that may be ready to come up?
Right.
But with you, because we are so practiced in what we do, I know that I can come to you when I get an intuitive nudge.
Yeah.
I know that I can come to you, and whether you're going to like it or whether you're not, I can say to you, okay, you got to check your blood pressure.
Yeah.
But as the receiver of that, it could be that you got that intuitive nudge from a complete stranger, a book on a shelf,
right.
a commercial on the TV, a movie snippet.
Right.
That information is going to come from somewhere when you need to hear it.
And it gets louder and louder if you don't hear it.
And it means that it's always going to come.
Right.
Because spirit always has your back. And so being able to look at your environment as it's not happening to me, it's happening for me.
That's right.
For my elevation and my growth. And so I was just the vehicle that brought you that information for the listener's benefit. And so looking at your world from that perspective will help you deal with the frustrations. God, if that person had just not said anything, this wouldn't have drugged this up for me, and I would be able to be blissfully blind and not having to be dealing with all of these things that I put in this box.
Right.
But if you've gone along in your reality and you've ever said the statement of, oh, God, I'm so tired of this. I want it to be different.
Yeah.
The universe says, okie dokie.
Here's your sign.
Here we go. Step in the saddle of the rodeo.
But it can be hard when something else brings it to your reality that's not you.
Absolutely.
And it can be a tough road. It can create anger and frustration and
At that person.
Yeah, at that person.
Because if
I
you
agree.
hadn't have done this to me,
I wouldn't be where I am.
be living this bullshit right now.
Right.
You go into victim mode.
Yes. Totally.
And if you're not careful, you can hang out there for quite some time and you can be mad at that person and it can actually deteriorate the relationship.
Totally.
And even possibly sever the relationship altogether.
Right. Totally agree.
And so that can bring about a further entanglement of taking you down the grief process of having lost the friend. But it can also, as the giver of the information, it can put them in a place of, gosh, I should have just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Now I've lost a good friend. And they have to go through that other side of the coin of that being the giver of the information, especially if it comes from a relationship that is a good friend or a spouse or not just a complete stranger.
And sometimes it sucks, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know,
shadow work is not
easy. And that's what they always say. And sometimes it can put you in a place of I'm getting picked on, or it puts you in all these weird places. Mm-hmm. And you just got to understand that if the other person didn't care, they wouldn't even come to you. They wouldn't even know you.
Well, I mean, that's absolutely true, especially if it's an intimate relationship or a close relationship.
Totally.
They wouldn't have. But if it's a complete stranger who gets to just come through and give you the information and then be on their way and you never see them again.
Like the guy at the parking lot.
That's kind of hard to digest.
Yeah, like the guy in the parking lot that day that walked up to us and said that random. I don't even remember what he said, but we were both like, what the heck was that?
Right. We have that happen.
Yeah, a lot.
And so in those situations, you know that your situation is not fixing to affect him. And he doesn't necessarily care what you're doing about it.
Right.
And so the information will and sometimes does come from resources that are not intimate relationships.
Right.
But it's higher self bringing you the information in the way that higher self knows it will stick.
Yes.
And that you'll hear it and that you'll log it.
And sometimes
it has to be weird.
Yeah, it's just not fun sometimes.
No, sometimes it is not fun.
Yeah. But, I think the thing that should be communicated is at the end of all of it. Like today, now that this is done and we have kind of figured it out, and I'm now going to work through the processes of getting everything right, is how it feels afterwards.
So before we go there,
okay.
Let's touch on the action steps of regenerating a new habit.
Yes.
Because if you continue, so even if you've found the seed and you've got this beautiful epiphanal moment that feels amazing,
mm-hmm.
if you don't stop the habit, subconscious habits are things that just run subconsciously.
Right.
You could find yourself reaching. So for you, let's give an example.
Okay.
Yours is using your rescue inhaler.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't regenerate a new habit, subconsciously you're going through your day, you're distracted by all the different things in the day, and you reach for your inhaler because you have a habit to go reaching for it for whatever triggers that habit.
Right.
Then next thing you know, you're back into that habit and you didn't even realize you were doing it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah.
So what I'm saying is before we go and we party in the feel good moment of it, we got to set a new habit in place.
Right.
And if that means, like for you, taking the inhaler out of your pocket.
I gave it to you.
Put it in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Put it in your wife's possession so that she can tend to it.
Because if I need it, because it's there for a reason. And so if I need it, I just give it to her. But I do want to say something.
Stop the action.
Stop the action, yeah.
Remove the thing out of your initial handy grasp.
Right.
And stop the action so that you can create a new habit.
Right. And ChatGPT said something, and you said something too, that really kind of rung a bell for me. And I think everybody needs to hear it.
Okay.
Is when you have a subconscious habit going on that you don't even realize it's going on.
Right.
and then you try to break that habit or you change that habit a little bit, the subconscious mind will recreate scenarios to make you do it.
Absolutely.
Like Chat said, and when your body doesn't have it, it'll actually create the symptoms for you to use it.
That's right.
And I was like, what?
That's right.
And so then that's a true statement. We have a tendency, our subconscious mind controls our reality, and so it will create a spot to where I'm creating a happy spot because that inhaler was a safe spot for me.
It's a comfy.
It was a safe spot for me. It was comfy, and I knew if I needed it, it was there.
Yeah.
And instead of doing it the appropriate way, like when I didn't take it all day, like yesterday. Do you remember yesterday? Mm. I got whatever it was, something irritated my sinuses bad. Mm-hmm. But then I got thinking about it. Where did they get irritated at?
Right.
And so I hadn't taken it all day yesterday.
And you reached for it.
And I reached for it and I took it. And I took it, at the bank.
Because you were like, man, something in there
irritated
my sinuses and whatever.
Yeah. And it was causing phlegm. And so I was misidentifying. And that's another thing your subconscious mind will do. Mm-hmm. You'll misidentify things to justify what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's exactly what I did. And being humble enough to talk through the process with yourself or with your loved one like I do with you. I'm benefited enough to have Dr. Jenny in my house with me. And so
anyone can have the benefit.
But everybody has Chat GPT. And if you don't believe that, Chat GPT, what I just said, because they will tell you that no matter what subconscious, because I did afterwards.
Absolutely.
If you have a habit and you are not doing the habit, your subconscious mind will recreate the scenario to make you do the habit.
Yeah.
And then blind it from you.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that's what, you were talking about that, and I thought that needed to be said because some people just don't understand why they have habits. Like we used to deal with, God bless his soul, Philip, he passed away, but he had a drug problem.
Yeah. And
we brought him into our house and tried to make him, tried to get him off drugs, and he was doing really good for about a week until his subconscious mind created a scenario where he reached out to an old friend.
Yep.
Because he wasn't doing the feel-good thing. Because when you do a feel-good thing and you have habits like that, your body creates the hormones and the chemicals in your body that makes it feel good. Mm-hmm. And even just the thought of it.
Right.
Like, he felt like crap all the time until the minute you gave him money and he would feel good.
Yeah.
Because he's going to go to his drug guy.
Yeah. Because the chemical drop.
That's right.
Was released when payday came and he had money in his hand and he got to go and get his
fix. Yeah.
Fix.
Yeah. He was a heroin.
And
he liked heroin.
But it doesn't have to be drugs.
Right. It can be anything.
It could be shopping. It could be monsters. It could be soda pop.
Or like the guy at the horse track, the horse track betting.
Yeah.
Right. That one guy, he's like, I spend $500 a day in here, and he was bragging about it. And that one lady's like, are you crazy? But it does because it creates those chemicals. Mm-hmm. And that's what it was doing for me. Because I was thinking about this morning. I was like, I was doing this out of a security blanket to make me feel good, which was giving me the chemical to make me feel better, which was actually reciprocating the fight or flight syndrome.
Right.
And so long term, it just is recreating a scenario where I had to do it. Yeah. And it felt good when I did it. And so that's part of, the kind of habits. It felt good
not in a sense of doing drugs and feeling good. It felt good in a sense of safety and security.
Correct. Yeah.
There's a little bit of difference.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
Because there's multiple different kinds of feel good.
Right. Because it used to be back in the day when after I first got out of the hospital, I would avoid certain things. Like I wouldn't go to anywhere that I knew there was going to be a lot of like aromatic things.
Yeah.
Because back when I first came out of the hospital, I was very easily inflamed.
Yeah, very, very hypersensitive.
Very hypersensitive to things.
Absolutely.
And they had me on a regimen of different pills at the time.
Right.
But I'm very grateful because I had a great respiratory therapist, by the way. I can't remember her name. There was two of them. There was a guy and a girl. And
did she have a nice butt and have blonde hair?
No, she was actually kind of frumpy, but case she hears this, I'm not going to mention her name because I do remember her name. And I remember his name quite well because his name was French.
Oh, okay.
And his yeah. And you could barely understand what he said.
I just wondered what kind of therapy we were receiving.
Yeah, not that kind of therapy. Don't get me wrong. I like that kind of therapy. But, so I guess in the long run is when you have like for me today, and this is the thing I think everybody should take away from this, is when you have something like this in your life, be humble enough to say, what am I doing? Like what am I doing that's creating it?
Yeah.
Why is it in my reality?
Right.
Ask yourself those questions.
Yeah. When you can get to the point of asking those questions and answering them openly and honestly about yourself, your reality will change in a flash.
Exponentially. Totally agree.
If you stay in that place, though, of avoidance, distraction, deferment to another person, not owning it, not being accountable, you'll recreate the same reality over and over again, and the common denominator will always be you. Always.
Right. I had a coach, my personal development teacher back when I was in high school. His name was Coach Ted Foster, by the way. Rest in peace, Mr. Todd Foster. But I hear his son is now the principal of the school. But Coach Foster said something in a class one day, and he actually said two things. One is he had a sign up on the wall that had a picture of this guy that was laying on top of a sand dune, and he was looking down at an oasis. And he was laying on all spread out, and he had they painted the circle like he died.
Right. Yeah.
And I asked him, I was like, Coach, what's that? What's that picture? And he said, that's the man of perseverance. And I was like, what do you mean? And he said, that guy, I want you to look at him. He walked across the desert for 14 days and 14 nights looking for water. And then he came over the top of that sand dune, and he saw that oasis down there with water in it. And he sat down and said, I'm going to rest for a minute. And he looked down at the oasis, and he's like, he lays back, and he lays against the sand dune. And while resting, he died. And I was like, well, Coach, that's a crappy story is that? And you got it up on your wall.
What a shit story that is.
And he said, well, that's because you don't get it. If we quit helping ourselves and we stop to rest and we're not strong enough to stay helping ourselves, this is what happens. All he needed was a few more steps. He had already been walking 14 days and 14 nights. He needed a few more steps. And because he saw it, his goal was in front of him. He's like, I'll just take a break for a minute. And you can't do that. You can't take a break on life. You never quit learning. You never quit being humble enough to look at yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
And, and that changed me. And he also said, the stupidest man is the one that's not humble. That was a phrase over the back of his desk.
Okay.
Or the stupidest person. The most stupid person is a person that's not humble.
What does humble actually mean?
So how I define it is able to look at yourself.
Okay.
And not put yourself in a place of it
wasn't me. It wasn't me, or this happened to me because of this or this or this.
Being too prideful to realize that that somebody could know something more than you.
I see.
Like he used to say it all the time in wrestling or on the football field, because he was also the football coach and my track coach.
Okay.
And I remember I was running the 100-yard dash one time, and I came in right at the end. I kind of died, and I ended up in second place. And I smoked the whole field in the first 90 yards of it.
Right.
And when I got that last 10 yards, I kind of petered. And he asked me why I quit. I'm like, I didn't quit. He's like, yeah, you did. You quit. You quit on yourself. And so what he was getting at was he wasn't telling me to run harder. He was telling me if you don't believe in yourself to push through that last 10 yards, to be humble enough to stop and look at yourself, to not quit on yourself, because even when we're 70, 80, 90, 100 years old, we're still not going to quit persevering what we have to live through in life. That's why we're here.
Or the opposite of that, being so egotistical, I guess,
Prideful.
to where when you ran the race, you're like, oh, I got this in the bag, I can slow down.
Right.
And then the others caught up with you and passed you by, and then it was too late.
Yeah, he used to always say, quitters never win, and the winner's going to be right behind you. You know, so he would, if you quit trying to be something more, the person that wants to be something more is going to come to the front. Mm. And that's what happens with our subconscious mind. When you quit trying to be better than what you are, your subconscious mind is going to continue to give you what you were getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And anyway, I kind of got on a little rant there for a moment.
You've been on a rant for quite a few
couple days
here.
I've been like, kind of on that little soapbox. I don't know. You taught me how to tune in, and now I'm tuned. Look what happened. See, you created this monster.
That radio tuner is tuned in.
You know, and that's really the truth. I used to teach my kids in baseball when I coached them. I used to coach these bunch of baseball teams.
Yeah. And
I used to always tell them that the person that wins in life is the ones that works harder on the field.
Okay.
And so, and the field is an acronym for life.
Okay.
Because if you continue to work on yourself and try to look at beliefs and patterns and programs and try to make yourself better, then you're not losing, you're winning.
Yeah.
You're winning at everything.
Right.
And no matter what anybody thinks, says, or does of you, if you can take one step forward, then you're in a better place.
Absolutely. You're a whole different person.
And if you can persevere the bumps and the speed bumps in the road and the guy coming from behind you in the last 10 meters, if you can persevere that, then you're winning already.
Absolutely.
But anyway, I feel complete now. I'll get off my soapbox. Sorry. I shrugged my shoulders like a little kindergartner right there. I have been on this little bit of a tangent lately, haven't I? Not really a tangent. That's kind of a harsh word.
It is a harsh word.
You've
been on a roll.
You created this monster.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You're finding your way through it. And I love I like to watch anyone, but especially you.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Have those moments.
And it's really fun because I've been able to tie back old things that I've been taught and the things that I've done.
Yeah.
It's been kind of really cool, actually. Like the thought about the kids. And
right.
I used to teach them that.
And so what the last thing that you said before I went into the habit was remembering to honor or experience the feel good part of it.
Yes.
So touch on that real quick before we go, because I didn't let you.
So when you get to the place that it feels
enjoy
good,
the feel good moment.
Like this morning when I discovered what had happened and it rang my bell. It was like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
For a moment I got almost emotional to the point of okay, and it felt good.
Yeah.
And then that emotion kind of came out and so I just kind of sat and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Because before I even turned to you and said anything, I was like just enjoying, like okay, this is it, because it's a very self-valuing thing when you can identify things wrong within yourself. It creates a big self-value.
Right. And it's a very prominent feeling.
Yes.
Like you don't forget it.
It gives you the worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so sitting in that vibration, knowing that you found that moment is very beneficial.
Correct.
That way you really kind of drive it home of, okay,
no matter how frustrating it is before that moment.
That's right.
I mean, you don't know how frustrated. I've been really frustrated with this for like 3 or 4 days now.
I know.
And it's like creates an anger and a little bit of a...
It does, yeah. It can. It can definitely. No matter
and all
what
I can do is just keep plugging away.
That's right.
And yeah, there's things I didn't like about it. It is what it is. Because I had my subconscious mind telling me crap. And I had, I've got Dr. Jenny telling, give me direction. That's just my subconscious mind and that little devil on my shoulder saying, but it's still, it felt good at the end.
Yeah.
And that's really what's about. And I really appreciate you. I don't know if I've ever told you this on air, but I do love you. And thank you for being a part of my life.
You're welcome.
Because you complete me.
Oh,
that was that. What was that? What was that movie?
Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. You complete me.
I think it was a Jerry Maguire, and then
What was the one with the reaching around the?
And then
the
they
clay
did
thing?
the spiff. That was Ghost.
Ghost. Wasn't that in that movie too?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
I definitely know. I think it was on Jerry Maguire, and then they did a spiff of it with the little ball-headed guy.
I don't know.
Laser. And You Complete Me.
Oh yeah,
with the little mini
I do
me.
remember that. Yeah, the little mini me.
Right.
Yeah, I
Whatever
remember
that spoof was.
That was on.
They said it on that as well.
What was that movie?
I don't remember.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, that's what it was. Alrighty. Well, hey guys, I appreciate y'all listening. Are you complete?
I am good. Yeah.
I'm sorry if I bogarting. I know y'all want to hear Dr. Jenny, but I'm sorry. James has been on there so much. I'm sorry. Leave me a hate emoji on the comments.
That's why we're both on here. People want to hear from both of us.
I'm just playing. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to us and dealing with my jargon.
Living the dream, man.
We are living the dream. Y'all have no idea. Y'all want to live this dream with us? We can teach you how. Give us a call.
Absolutely.
Look and check out our website at www.themerccenters.org and check out the app website at www.thesaltytarot.net.
And if you want to go down the rabbit hole even further, you can come visit me to the Edge and Back with Dr. Jenny on my blog. That's where all of my rabbit hole articles go.
That's on blogger.com. It's actually married into all the blog sites, I think. But if not, if you can't find it, it's on blogger.com. Or you can just Google search Dr. Jenny to the Edge and Back, and it'll be the first one that pops up. Because Dr. Jenny has went straight to the top of a whole lot of Google searches lately. And hey, guys, while y'all listen, I want y'all to do something for me. We have some friend of ours that own a metaphysical business in Arkansas, Ozark Research Institute. Go to their website and subscribe to their newsletter.
Yeah.
They could use a little extra boost. They lost one of their major teachers, and so it's kind of changed their dynamic a little bit, and they're looking for a little support and love.
That's right.
That's ORI.com or OzarkResearchInstitute.org. They are a nonprofit organization, by the way.
Yeah, and they're amazing.
They are the good
do
people.
Some really good stuff.
Miss Gladys is fun. If you don't believe me, pick up the phone and call her. She'll answer the phone. And she's the owner. Her and her husband's owned her for like 40 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
But her husband was a world-renowned dowser and author.
Absolutely.
And she wrote a book after the dowser or something like that. I can't remember. But or maybe it was after Harold. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate y'all supporting us. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. And
ring that bell.
you all have an awesome day.
Love ya.